Break it down.
Hi, I'm Alexis here for Channel 98 and We Act Radio, and today we're going to be talking about Wall Street ripping the faces off of the American consumer in a place you may not expect: the inside of your fridge. You see, Wall Street is making every can of beer or soda you buy a little more expensive because of greed. Here's the problem. Banks are supposed to be prohibited from meddling in things that aren't banking because of a law called the Bank Holding Company Act. Because banks owning absolutely everything is kind of dangerous. But the Federal Reserve, in their infinite wisdom, has for the last decade quietly been allowing banks to stick their noses into the commodities business. Side note, commodities are things that make our real economy work. Things like food, oil, gold, and aluminum. Goldman Sachs and other banks are keeping aluminum in warehouses that they control longer than they need to so that they can charge more rent. An executive from MillerCoors testified before the Senate last year to say that these activities were costing them and other aluminum buyers $3 billion in inflated prices. So at the end of the day, Wall Street is making every can of beer we buy a little bit more expensive because of these shenanigans. Many people have been talking about this problem. UNC law professor Saleh Omarova has written extensively about this. Senator Sherrod Brown from Ohio held a hearing about this last year in the Senate Banking Committee. And then there's Representative Jeb Hensarling. He's the Republican who controls the House Financial Services Committee. And this is a man who loves drinking a six-pack after work.
You know, somebody might just want to go to the 7-Eleven and buy a six-pack. And in America, that ought to be their right.
So I'm sure Rep. Hensarling has also had a hearing about this tomfoolery, right? Yeah, Jeb Hensarling hasn't done shit on this. And quite frankly, I don't know what I was thinking, because this is the guy that went on a ski trip fundraiser with Wall Street. So obviously he is all talk and no action. Now, believe it or not, the very people who enabled this problem in the first place, the Federal Reserve, is asking us for our opinion on whether or not they should continue to allow banks to meddle in the commodities business. So America, which do you prefer, Wall Street or beer? To respond to the Fed's request for comment, the fine folks over at Credo Action have a really clever idea. They're asking people to send a can to the Fed, like an actual can. And believe it or not, they've tested this out so they know it works. So go to this link, print out this label, tape it to a can, and send your message to the Fed. The banks have crashed the economy too many times with us in the passenger seat. It's time to revoke their license. Thanks so much for watching. You can find all the sources for this story in the description below. Please make sure you subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments.